Every single day, nearly one third of world's seaborne oil passes through a narrow strip of water. Two ships can barely pass side by side. A place surrounded by enemies, missile warships, and one wrong move could send the entire global economy into chaos overnight. This is the Strait of Hormuz, a tiny waterway between Iran and Arabian Peninsula that quietly controls the fate of billion people. And it if ever closes, gas prices explode, markets crash, supply chains collapse, and the world could be dragged toward the war. But how did one narrow stretch of ocean become the most dangerous choke point on Earth? And why are world superpowers terrified of what happened there next? At first glance, the Strait of Hormuz doesn't look important. It's just a narrow passage of water, only about 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, but appearances are deceiving because this tiny corridor connects the oil-rich Persian Gulf to the rest of the planet. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the UAE, Qatar, Iran, some of the most energy rich nations on earth depend on this route. And every single day, thousands of ships carry oil, natural gas, food, electronics, and critical goods through these waters. Without Hermes, the modern world slow down. Most people never think about it, but your electricity, your groceries, your fuel prices are all connected to this one narrow strait, and that's exactly why it has become one of the most dangerous places on earth. The Strait of Hormuz is trapped between Iran to the north and Oman and UAE to the south. And here is the terrifying part: the shipping lanes are incredibly narrow. In some areas, ships move through lanes only 2 miles wide in each direction. One accident, one missile, one attack, and global trade could freeze instantly. It's the perfect choke point, and throughout history, choke points have always become battlegrounds. But Hormuz is different. Because the stakes are global, for decades the Strait of Hormuz has existed under constant tension. On one side, Iran, on the other side, the United States and its allies. And beneath the surface, a shadow war has been unfolding for years. Iran has repeatedly warned that if it is threatened, it could shut down the state entirely, and the world take those threats seriously. Because Iran possesses fast attack boats, sea mines, anti ship missiles, and drones capable of turning the region into chaos. Meanwhile, the US Navy patrol these waters constantly. Aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines, all positioned to keep the strait open. Because if Hormuz closes, the consequences would be immediate and brutal. In 2019, the world got a glimpse of what that course might look like. Multiple oil tankers were attacked near the strait, explosion ripped through ships, global headlines exploded, and suddenly the fear became real. Who was responsible? Iran denied involvement, the United States blamed Tehran, tensions skyrocketed, oil prices surged, and for a moment the world held its breath because everyone understood one thing: if these attacks escalated, the entire global economy could suffer, not in months, in days. The Strait of Hormuz reveals something uncomfortable about our world. Despite all our technology, modern civilization still runs on energy, and much of that energy passes through this narrow corridor. Every truck delivery, every airplane flight, every supply chain depend on stability here, and that dependence create vulnerability. A single disruption could send fuel prices soaring across America, Europe, Asia, everywhere. For ordinary people, it would not feel like a distant geopolitical crisis, it would feel personal. Higher food prices, more expensive travel, economic uncertainty, the kind of pressure that change election markets and lives. And this is what makes the Strait of Hormuz so dangerous. Nobody wants war there, but nobody can afford to ignore it either. China depend on Gulf oil, Europe depend on Gulf oil, the United States protect Gulf shipping routes. The world is tied together here by energy, by trade, by fear, and every major power knows one miscalculation in these waters could trigger something far larger, something uncontrollable. Now imagine this: a military confrontation erupt, missile fly, tanker burns, sea mines are deployed, shipping stops within hours, oil prices skyrocket, stock markets panic, governments scramble, and across the world, millions of ordinary people suddenly feel the shock wave from a place they may never have even heard of before. That's the terrifying reality of Hormuz, a tiny strip of water with the power to shake the entire planet. But maybe the Strait of Hormuz is more than just a geopolitical flashpoint. Maybe it's a warning about how fragile globalization really is, how interconnected the modern world has become, and how a crisis in one narrow passage can ripple across the lives of billions. Because sometimes the most powerful places on earth are not giant countries or massive cities, sometimes they are teeny points on a map, quiet, narrow, and dangerously fragile. The Strait of Hormuz remain open today, tankers still pass through, warships still patrol, the world keeps moving, but beneath the surface, the tension never disappears because as long as the world depends on this narrow corridor, the possibility of global disruption always there waiting.